and Camilla just joined us right off the bat with a cry in the background. I don't know if that was heard. But hello, everybody. This is Sarah, and this is the WINO Forever the Deppening podcast. I'm joined by Jalsenko Arm. Once again, how are you, sir?
Can you get Camilla to speak on mic?
No,
I
probably
didn't
not.
hear anything. I didn't hear anything. I
Well,
think
she
everybody wants
walked.
to hear her speak.
One day she will. She walked into the room and let out a guttural cry. I'm shocked you didn't hear that.
Guttural.
Yeah. Okay, this is episode 11. Introduce us real quick. This is a very quick one. We're gonna
This is
try.
called a premature Deppgasm episode.
Yeah.
Episode.
I don't know if we're gonna number this episode. I want to do like little quickie episodes throughout the week.
Mini Deppisodes. Just
Yeah, and then we'll do our regular sagas on the weekend and get those out as ASAP. So we have an update. This goes back to our Viper Room Part 2 episode where we discussed Anthony Fox and the disappearance of Anthony Fox. We have an update to that story, courtesy of Radar Online, and I think you have the article there in front of you if you want to start that. I think it pretty much, I don't know if it needs a lot of explanation beforehand. I think it gets
well,
into
I want
it.
to thank
Oh, yeah.
I want to I want to thank Monique from Radio Gunk for sending us this because I don't know how I missed it. I Google him every day for years,
Hmm.
and it's just from Radar Online. And like she said, like Sarah said, it's so crazy. We do this Viper Room saga. It's two parts. It could be three. We could easily do three, and I don't know why this isn't
It's probably going to be 3.
fold. Well, could this? I wish this came out a month or two earlier, right? I
Hmm.
mean, we could
Of course.
incorporate it into what it's so bizarre. Like, who's looking for Viper Room news,
Well,
breaking it now? And
apparently nobody, because nobody else is talking about this, which is weird to me. This has been out since
oh,
December
it's crazy! It's a
23rd.
crazy story. I can't believe it's not a bigger deal out there.
Yeah. You want to?
All these murder podcasts you broads flock to.
I went through
Like
that
you would think
phase.
this would be like a major conspiracy thing. People are. I just don't get. By Nick Harding. You know Nick Harding's work, right?
Very familiar. No.
Well, we should say that I became familiar with Radar Line because of our friend Adam Levy from who uh, broke a ton of Stern stories, salacious Stern stories, and dishing all this great Stern dirt. Great guy. He's a friend of ours, and I don't mean that in a Donnie Brasco way. Um, and he has written. He is now on the Daily Mail, which also does Depp stories. I don't think he's done any actual. I've asked him to,
Hmm.
and I don't know if he's assigned that Depp beat. But I wouldn't even work for. If you didn't give me the Depp beat, I'd quit right on site. It's the only thing I want to cover. That's what I would
You
say to the powers that be.
and you would demand a budget for just following him around and just being his
It would. Wouldn't that
friend.
be great? Isn't that the ultimate job? You get a per diem to follow him around.
I would love it.
You found a tremendous video, which I don't know when you plan on incorporating that into your masterful
Probably
filmmaking,
probably
Ms. Bigelow.
our next mini episode next
You
week.
know what I'm talking about, right? The speedboat episode
Yes, yeah,
in
yeah.
video. And
That's going to be in the video, the accompanying video to that mini episode.
okay, so this is from Radar Online. This is from a gentleman named Nick Harding, who's taking ownership. I know a lot of times at Radar Online they'll print something and it'll say by staff, like nobody wants to put their name on it.
Hmm.
You ever see that move?
I have many times.
Uh, so it starts off here. They have so many ads on these Radar Online that you don't know what
I
you're
know.
reading half the time.
I just to pull the screenshot up, I had to X out of about 3 different ads just for this shot here.
But also, when you're reading the article, you'll start reading gibberish that's not part of the article. They've written some kind of caption that's
Mhm.
completely unrelated to the article you're reading, and it'll
Yeah, it's
get you
horrible.
off, and they go, what have I been?" And then you have to scroll down like 7 pages to get to the next paragraph.
Yeah, it's a big pain in the ass.
Okay, it starts off fresh leads and one of Hollywood's most baffling cold cases absolve movie star Johnny Depp from the decades-old conspiracy that he plotted the murder of a rival, a 20-year-old mystery behind the disappearance of Depp's former business partner, Anthony Fox, is close to being solved thanks to a relentless investigation, Radar Online has learned. I'm sure you have. Paul Barrisi, the renowned Hollywood. By the way, he's the guy that Amber Heard, the Succubus, hired to dig the dirt up on Depp. Is it the same guy?
I don't know. I don't know for sure.
Paul, I think it is. We saw him in the Johnny versus Amber
Yeah.
video. Very
I'm 90%. I want to say yes, almost. I don't know for sure.
half baked 2-part documentary.
Yeah, with his recreation of asking people questions on the street randomly about Johnny Depp. So, okay, sorry.
Paul Barrisi, the renowned Hollywood fixer, has spearheaded a review of the case, uncovering never seen before documents and gaining fresh testimony that shreds new light on Fox's frame of mind before he vanished. It now seems almost certain that he either took his own life or tantalizingly disappeared off the grid and is living under an assumed name in another part of the world. At the time of this disappearance, Fox is facing financial ruin and defeat in a legal case he had filed against Depp and 4 others, claiming the actor had stiffed him on money owed from the infamous nightclub they co-owned called the Viper Room. Saljenko is obviously one of the 4 people, right?
Yes,
In addition to theorized mafioso, God knows, who knows,
correct.
allegedly. Statements obtained and handed to a Ventura police department which handling the endangered missing persons case suggests the secret of Anthony Fox's disappearance may have been known to his mother, who took it to her grave when she died on March 2004. His investigation has also uncovered potential inconsistencies in the will that Fox's wealthy British mother, Maud, wrote before her death. Is this guy British? Does he
I'm
have a British accent in the whole thing?
I guess if the
That's the first
mother's
time I'm
British.
hearing of this
hmm
and all that. Did you picture
I've
him?
never heard him speak.
Yeah, no, I was picturing some like Joe Pesci wannabe. You see the picture of him? He looks like he's got to be 5'4".
Yeah, that's the only picture you can find of him, which is weird.
Barrisi told Radar that while his investigation has led to many fresh questions, it absolves Depp of any foul play. If this is the same guy, I think, yeah, that the Succubus had tried to dig up dirt on Depp. This guy, Depp's charisma is so strong. He's won over her own private investigator, who's like does not the best part possibly of the Johnny versus Amber documentary is this guy praises Depp. Now, if you think this is like a quote hit piece project from Elon Musk's people on Disney Plus, or there's some kind of I, I I'm not saying it isn't biased, but why would they leave that in there?
Because they have to appear to be middle of the road
That's
as
an
much as
awfully
possible.
big compliment that her hired
I
private
think
investigator.
I think leaving out 90% of the evidence against her says more than just throwing in this private investigator walking through the streets of Southern California questioning people.
But the guy is like, I can't find anything on him. He's like the most generous, menschiest. He helps his friends. He helps his family. I mean, it was like the most glowing compliment you could ever receive. Okay, so for decades, innuendo and half-truths persist that Johnny Depp had a hand in Anthony Fox's disappearance, but today won't stand up to scrutiny under the details I've uncovered. They would be like this fallacious bill of goods sold to the British High Court, which branded him a wife beater, he said. Wow, this guy's really like. Fox was last seen in Ventura County, California, December 19th, 2001. So doing the math, that's about 8 years after the Viper Room opened.
Mhm.
Right?
93,
We
yeah.
said October of 93.
Mhm. I want to say August of 93.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it was like late summer, early fall.
Yeah, but go back to those Viper Room episodes. Those are great. They're underrated. I
Yeah,
think we did a
underrated.
great job on those.
Yes, underrated. He disappeared alongside with his pickup truck and 38 caliber revolver. On January 6, 2002, his truck was found abandoned on Chestnut Street in Santa Clara, California. He left behind several $1,000s in a bank account that remained untouched, and also left a teenage daughter, Constance, named after chicks from Charmed. At the
Ugh.
time of the disappearance, Fox was scheduled to testify in court after bringing a lawsuit against 5 people, including Depp, who co-owned the Viper Room with Fox and was the majority shareholder in the club, which he had co-founded with the actor Johnny Depp in 1993. The venue gained notoriety in its opening year when River Phoenix died of a drug overdose in the pavement outside the club on Halloween night. Isn't it amazing? You know, everybody kind of like, theorizes this, but the River Phoenix death is like the ultimate promote is the it, you cannot bring this place up in and in a fell 20 seconds later you were guaranteed to bring up River Phoenix. You cannot
Mhm.
bring up the Viper Room without bringing him up as being synonymous with it.
Yeah, they're linked forever. But yeah, again, that's also in part 2, so go check out the original Viper Room series. Anyway, that's the last time I'm going to plug it.
River Phoenix died of a drug overdose on the pavement outside the club on Halloween night. Fox had accused Depp of defrauding him of millions of dollars in profits and was due to testify against the business partners. In 2004, Depp turned over his share of the nightclub to Constance, who resold it.
Mhm. To the current
Um,
owners who are now selling it, and it's about to be
do
torn
we ever
down
get a
this
figure
spring.
on what he what
No.
it was worth?
No. The only thing you can find is the cluster of buildings on that block, the amount that was paid for those buildings, because they're going to be tearing them all down.
Rumors abounded that Depp had a hand in the disappearance, and some even speculated that Fox had been murdered and buried in the basement of the club, the basement where they played the infamous Molly Bloom poker game, right?
Mhm.
Which comes after Depp's time, right? I mean,
It was
it's.
toward the very end of his time and past his exit.
I would like to know if there's any crossover at all
I'm sure he
with
knew.
him in that poker game.
I'm sure he knew kind of what was going on because it was just starting up as he was leaving.
Yeah, or Jenko or
Mhm.
it's funny too because a lot of the people in the poker game are Depp adjacent in a way.
Mhm.
DiCaprio and Toby Maguire's in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He has no ties to Affleck, as far as I know. They've never been in a movie together. It's very hard to do a 6 degrees of Depp with him. There's not a ton of. I don't know of any crossover with Affleck. I've seen him with Matt Damon at the Golden Globes, but I have no
Mhm.
knowledge of Depp and Affleck having any.
I've I've never seen a picture of them together or heard
I
of
haven't
them
either.
even whisper
I'm
each
gonna
other's
look.
names.
I'm gonna look later after we're done.
Okay.
That's one of the things I like to do, by the way. One of my Depp rituals is I Google his name with someone else, and I
Mhm.
just look for pictures. Just there's a Samuel Jackson. There's just people he's never worked with. People I know to see if anything comes up. Usually it does.
And I get the link in my email at 2:30 in the morning. Okay. Well, is that the
I
end of
do.
the
I googled Depp and Carmelone 2 weeks ago to see if it was.
I hope nothing was
It's so
linked there.
stupid.
Uh,
I always do Wayman Tisdale because they have the same birthday.
mhm.
And they have such a similar they have a lot of commonalities. Like he's known as an actor and he claims his first love is music, and Tisdale is a NBA power forward who passed away and claims his first love is music as well. They both played guitar in their relative's band in church. uh so many similarities. It's
Mhm.
crazy. Same birthday. Same charisma, same great low post game.
I can't. I don't even want to say anything negative about your heroes. And Johnny Depp is in there, so I'm definitely not going to say anything negative. So
Why would you say anything negative about Wayman Tisdale? Who
I
could possibly say defame the name of Wayman? He is completely Teflon from any scandal or I mean, he's slightly underachieved as an NBA player. He should have been better
he didn't
and
have a
could have
great
been.
diet. That's the only thing I can say negative about him.
How do you know what his diet was?
He he passed away from
Oklahoma barbecue
yeah.
at halftime.
That's not even negative, but that's as negative as I can go for him. But I don't want to say anything against any of your heroes. I never would. I have a lot to say about Karl Malone, and I won't say it.
Well,
That's
I have
all
a
I
lot to
got.
say about Jerome Kersey, and I won't say it.
You're gonna make me.
No, okay. Continuing on. However, recent inquiries, which were carried out at the request of the Ventura Police Department, have uncovered fresh information. Can I ask you a question about California? I don't know anything about it. I mean, very little.
I know
I,
probably less than you, but let's try.
all the names and the towns and the counties, it
I
so
know.
confuse me all the time, especially in and around LA. I don't understand. Ventura is a county, right?
Yeah,
And LA is part of Ventura County. So when you
I
call the police, it's the Ventura Police.
I don't
And
know.
why is it I'm pronouncing it Ventura? Is there an H? There's no H in there, but everybody seems
It's
to pronounce it
Ventura.
Ventura. I've heard Ventura, like Jesse Ventura, and Ventura.
I've heard it as Ventura. I don't know.
The, Then remind me, how does Anthony Fox just disappear on the side of the road? Uh,
So
This
I do want
doesn't
to say,
happen. I mean,
you remember when we talked about that Inquirer article where his ex-wife said she ran into him after he supposedly disappeared?
yes,
And she said, "Why did you leave or why did you vanish?" She said, "I wanted to get
yes,
away from you." I don't know
yes.
how what the next step in that conversation was. Maybe he just vanished or vaporized. I don't know, but there were no further details, so I don't know what the hell was going on. Maybe she was telling the
How
truth,
am I?
and
How am I supposed to believe my government about Anthony Fox?
you've been waiting to do that since Ventura came up.
On or around the day he disappeared, Anthony sent a letter to his mother, the contents of which she refused to divulge to his brother Charles. It is suspected the letter contained vital information.
Hmm.
uh, a telephone call answering from the answering machine in Fox's home, which could have held important clues, was never impounded as evidence and has never been located. This has so much Epstein in it, doesn't it? Why are you
Mhm.
not finding this? And what happened? And really, he just disappeared. He just happened to kill himself in a prison cell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a lot of that flavor to it. Fox's legal case appears unlikely to have succeeded, and several sources indicate he was in financial difficulties at the time of his disappearance. Fox's wealthy British mother had allegedly helped him perpetrate a fraud and form a bankruptcy case which he was involved in. Fox's former wife reports seeing him in Santa Barbara, California. This is it, six
Okay.
months after he vanished. Like
This is
she ran into him in Costco or something, and he's
yeah,
got like a
some
baseball hat.
yeah, some market. Yeah, exactly. Is her quote in there in this article?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead. You need your ice. Sorry.
Fox Fox had disappeared several years previously for a time, and family members confirm he has was an eccentric who had an interest in living off the grid. Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Mhm.
The people who are obsessed with living off the grid don't want are afraid of Big Brother. They don't want people to know stuff, and there's just a built-in neurosis um, that they get off on being mysterious. And like if you look him up online, they have no online presence. You know, there's no Facebook, there's no Twitter, there's no that. You can't even find them on like something like link. You know, like we always said that when there's times when the only online presence for those types of people, it's either um, what's the name of the public records websites?
Uh,
Linus or there's a bunch of them, you know, where you
yeah.
look up someone's, and then for some reason LinkedIn
Mhm.
has people you can't find in any other capacity online.
Mhm.
Maud's will, written after he disappeared, named him as a beneficiary and bequeathed his share of the. This must be Brit. Is Radar British
I don't know.
owned?
I'm not sure.
Maud's. There's a lot of weird British fonts in here.
Mhm.
Maud's will, written after disappeared, named him as beneficiary and bequeathed the share of his $1 million estate to his daughter, should he not resurface by a specific date. It is questionable whether those wishes were ever carried out. This Constance is like the Frances Bean of the Viper Room, right? She just gets everything.
A fraction of the inheritance.
Yeah. Anthony Fox was a British. Okay, this is all new here, you know, because we didn't, in all the Viper Room stuff we talked about, this never came up.
Mhm.
I wish this came out while we were doing that. Anthony Fox is a British citizen and held a UK passport. His wealthy British family has royal links. This is just like that Andrew, Prince Andrew, right? That's coming on.
with with I
There's all
don't
sorts of
know.
royal. They all have. Every Brit has royal lineage, no matter who they are and what.
Well,
I
they're
guess
all
you don't move
related.
here without the. I guess you don't move here, right? Without that capital, like you. "Oh, I'll just go to the United States and
People say the royal family is all they're all related to each other. I don't know.
you know it better. Aren't you like obsessed with that stuff?
No.
Royal, the royal family, and all the.
No. I had to hear about it for a period of my life, and now I don't pay much attention to it other than the Epstein case.
Isn't that crazy cartoon cat named after
She was originally,
royalty?
yes. That
Yeah,
yes, her name has taken on new meaning since.
Camilla. What is the
Parker
person?
Bowles, Camilla
Oh,
Parker
right, right,
Bowles.
right. And you named and you that you sure you're not super passionate about it? You
No,
named
not
your cat
anymore.
after it? All right.
I had anyway, let's read the article.
His grandfather was a renowned botanist who advised the British royal family of tree planting. Hold on a second. British citizen, UK passports, wealthy British family has royal links. The grandfather was a renowned botanist who advised the British royal family on tree planting in palace grounds, and they loved and bequeathed acres of pristine woodland to the UK National Trust. His mother owned an apartment in Kensington, one of the most exclusive areas in London, which was
Mhm.
stuffed full of rare and expensive antiques and artwork. If I hear bequeathed one more time,
You may. So, oh
I'm
well.
logging out of StreamYard.
Okay.
When Fox moved to the UK, his mother is said to have disapproved of his lifestyle. This is just like that Andrew thing. But sources maintain he was still a favorite son. Over the years, Maud bailed Fox out of financial difficulties on several occasions. Once, one source told Barrisi that she helped him fabricate a list of fictitious debtors in a bankruptcy filing several years ago previously. Although it must be stressed, this is only an allegation and no proof could be found.
Mhm.
None of Fox's British relatives are believed to have been questioned by Californian police after his disappearance. If police had made contact, they would have discovered that Maud received a letter from her son around the time of the disappearance. She revealed this to the family when she was told he had disappeared, but refused to divulge the contents of the letter. At the time, she is understood to have lamented that she, quote, did not help him more. Family members take this to mean that she wished she had given him more money, as she had previously done.
Mm.
Several sources questioned by Barrisi described the man in frequent financial turmoil who could be irrational and eccentric. In December of 2001, he was due to testify in the lawsuit against Depp, who he accused of cooking the books at the Viper Room. But a legal source involved in the case claims it was on the verge of being dismissed. Fox's
Mm.
lawyer later filed a lien against the estate to recover the fees. What a weird situation that is.
Mhm.
Trying to So he accuses Depp of not, I guess, taking money under the table,
Yeah, and funneling it
not
into
reporting something
personal.
fun. Right.
Yeah.
Who counts, to quote Jefferson Starship, as you often do, who counts the money
I don't know
underneath the
that song.
bar? Yeah,
Mhm.
right. They call me irresponsible.
Oh my god. You can't help yourself.
Marconi plays the number.
Oh.
Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city on Depp and Sal. We
Oh. God,
we're
God
gonna get a
help me.
copyright. We're
Yeah.
gonna get a Jefferson Starship copyright.
All right. What do we have left?
I
We're almost at our
want to
limit.
see them. Several sources questioned by Barrisi described a man of frequent financial turmoil, accused of cooking the books. Uh, while family in the UK were coming to terms with Fox's disappearance, his daughter was quickly moved out of the house and they shared and into a temporary custody of legal representative. So she
Hmm.
moved in with a lawyer. A telephone call answering machine in their home full of messages that may have held clues was never recovered. In the
Hmm.
months that followed the mystery disappearance, several scenarios emerged. Fox either killed himself, disappeared off the grid, was the victim of a gangland hit, or was taken into the desert and killed by bikers under the orders of Depp.
Yeah, I know.
I've actually heard Depp has a slight affiliation with the Hells Angels.
I've heard that too. I don't. I'm glad this article came out. I'm glad this takes something off of her list that she can use in the trial.
And it's ironic too because Thompson went undercover to write a book on the Hells Angels, and it
Mhm.
got to this huge brawl. Like he got attacked by like Hell's Angels while he was defending the honor of some woman. They were almost attempting a gang rape. It's a really
Oh.
crazy story. Um, the latter two scenarios are now widely discounted. The only potential sighting of Fox after December of 2001 was reported by his ex-wife Judith, details of which were revealed to Barrisi when he interviewed her recently. Judith claims to have seen her ex. Here we go. Judith claims to have seen her ex at a Barnes and Noble bookshop
Oh,
in Montclair,
okay.
California
All
in
right.
June of 2002. He was sitting in a chair reading a book, she told Barrisi when the man saw her looking at him. He had the look of terror on his face, and then he sprung up and sprinted toward the exit like a bat out of hell while he was reading Stedman and Graham's You Can Make It Happen. She
Mhm.
stated that she ran after him and saw him get into a small white Honda car. She followed for several blocks, taking down the number and license plate, which she reported to police investigating the disappearance. The car was apparently registered to a woman. Judith also claimed that in the past, when Fox hit financial problems, he told her he was going to leave the U.S. and return to the UK before staging what appeared to be his own abduction. He cut off contact with her, trashed the apartment, and disappeared.
Hmm.
Eventually, a few weeks later, she traced him into a woman's house. Judith suspects he may have done something similar in 2002. This is crazy shit. So she sees him in a Barnes and Noble. He
Mhm.
throws his book down. She chases him into the parking lot and then gets in a car chase with him through Santa Barbara.
See, the National Enquirer article had quotes from her. Like she had confronted him and asked him, and she had a direct quote from him. So I don't know how many times she came upon him after his supposed disappearance.
I, I, I just there's like a movie in this,
Mhm.
isn't there?
Yeah.
All these layers to this. If you
Mhm.
want to like disguise the names and do like some version of change the name of the Viper Room to Anaconda Anaconda Wing or something like that, and change the names. Like somebody representing Depp and Saljenko, and I mean, there's a lot here. There's a lot of, and I can't believe this isn't a bigger story.
It's not talked about by any other Depp channel that I've seen. I've been waiting for it because our computer has been out for almost 2 weeks, and I've been no, I wanted to get this episode done because this is an important part of his story. Um, and nobody else. I've been waiting. I didn't want to see anybody else do it before we did, and nobody did it.
I
I'm
do this from a
shocked.
tablet. I do this from a tablet. You do this from a PC, right? It's like a
Yes.
fast. It's wired,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
so you don't lose the. Um, so we couldn't do this. We sat on this during your computer problem, um, and you can't really do this without a PC. You can't, right?
No, I wouldn't want to.
No, it's just too much. The PC has functions you cannot execute on a phone or it's, it's bigger screen, and
Yeah.
that's why we've been kind of delayed. And
Mhm.
so I'm
But
glad it's up and running.
we want to get this quick one out. So, do you have anything else?
Well, we're almost done.
Okay.
She stated that when she went to meet the detective at the Ventura Police Department, that she tried to tell the detective that Tony had pulled the disappearing act before, but the detective said she didn't want to hear it. And then there's this huge picture of Dr. Fauci in a mask, and you got to
Of course.
scroll down to get to the next paragraph. Another source approached by Barrisi, who knew Fox well, described him as someone who would be perfectly happy living off the grid in an RV. The cold case investigation has also raised fresh questions about the large inheritance down at heel Fox was due to receive in the death of his mother. Documents uncovered from the UK show that when she died in 2004, Maud made several gifts of cash, jewelry, and furniture to her relatives. One niece, who is also the executor of the will, received $100,000 in cash, while her other son Charles was granted $55,000. The will was written on 2003 of June, and Anthony's disappearance is acknowledged. He was bequeathed, again with the bequeath, a piece of furniture of his choice and a half share of how do you say this word? Residuary estate, which
There you
would have
go.
equated to around $350,000. The will stated that she should not appear within 2 years of Maud's death. His share should be held in trust for his daughter. Maud died in 2004, and it was unclear whether those wishes were ever executed. The new leads have been handed over to the Ventura police investigating the case, and Barrisi aims to continue his inquiries. It is not the first time he has been drawn. Here we go. It is not the first time he has been drawn into Depp's orbit. Barrisi was engaged by Amber Heard's lawyers to investigate Depp after the Pirates of the Caribbean star sued his ex-wife for defamation following an op-ed piece she wrote for the Washington Post in 2018 about surviving domestic violence. Depp also sued the
Mhm.
British tabloid The Sun for libel after it called him a, quote, wife beater. He lost the case in November of 2020. Barrisi, who features in 2021 Discovery Plus documentary Johnny vs. Amber, was employed to dig dirt up on Depp, but couldn't find a soul to say one bad thing about him. Of the Fox case, he concluded to Radar, it is a can of worms. We can discount some of the more outlandish conspiracies, but the new information leads to more questions that need to be answered. That is it for the. Okay, there's a comment on the bottom I should read. It's kind of
Okay.
interesting. Just an opinion, and it's very scathing.
Mm.
This is from Just on. What's this guy's name? Just to name a few is the guy's name from two
Okay.
weeks ago. One thing is for sure, Johnny Depp definitely surrounds himself with a bunch of crazy people, and some are real criminals. This Fox character sounds really, really sketchy. Ed Hunter S. Thompson, Charlie Sheen, Marilyn Manson, Amber Heard, the West Memphis Three, specifically blood brother of Depp to Damian Eccles, and you have a full deck of psychopaths and evil people. Depp,
Don't forget the ex-wife.
Vanessa? Oh no,
No. The
who's ex-wife?
succubus.
She put him in there.
Oh, I didn't hear. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, the
Move. Let's
commenter
move.
put she's in the mix.
All right, let's go.
And you have a full deck of psychopaths and evil people. Depp isn't a nice guy. I don't know why people can't see that. Uh, the nice guy thing is such an arbitrary term. For all accounts, he is too nice of a guy
Exactly.
to most that this. Now, let me get your opinion on this. What do you think happened to Mr. Private Investigator Barrisi that he turned on the succubus so mightily? Did she stiff him?
I don't know.
Did
Elon Musk is
did
paying.
she run out of monies? We don't know that. I think he's
We
scared.
know
I think
that.
Musk is scared. Well, I think he's scared to get dragged into this further.
He's scared
That
to
Depp's
make
lawyers
it
will find
public.
out that he is benefacting a lot of this stuff. But why do you think this private
Huh.
investigator turned on her so mightily?
She's a bitch. I don't know.
She's a bitch. I don't know. What a
I don't know. Maybe she didn't pay him. Maybe she was hard to get a hold of. Maybe she only wanted negative things. I don't know. She fired him.
Ms. Sarah. We use more well thought out opinions in this classroom. We don't say
I have
things
no
like,
opinion
"Well,
on
she's
his
a
relationship
bitch."
with Heard. She's a bitch. There's
I
a
do.
warning at the
I'm
beginning of this
saying
podcast. It's
I'm
fine.
saying she ran out of money. I'm saying she ran out of money and stiffed him. And I think even though you won't own it, I think she was a flat out bitch to him. I think she is a raving hussy and harlot, and I think she pissed him off in some communicative or uncommunicative way,
Well,
and
and
I think financially, I think she owes him money, and I
just
think he didn't
imagine.
find anything, and I think Depp charmed him. I think, and he probably liked Depp going into it. He's like, I'm not
Well,
helping
just
her out.
okay, but just imagine working for her in general. We have stories from multiple former
Yeah,
employees just around the
yep.
dog situation about how difficult she is, and the maid who was afraid of her, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, what else we got? We need to wrap it up.
Hey, wrap this up, Toots.
I will get it
You run
over
a tight
here.
ship. You run a tight ship.
I want these short. So, okay.
I would like to go back to something we read from
Okay.
Lipstick Alley about some Viper Room dirt.
Okay.
So this is something we read from Enti. This is I'll read it like Enti. Let's see if I can read it
No, you
like him.
won't. No, you won't.
I'll
Let's go.
try. That'll be. Um, so this is from Crazy Days and Nights. This is a crazy story. Which I mean, this guy Enti has an axe to grind with Depp like you can't believe. And there's something going
Mhm.
on there. It is often not on this A+ list. Mostly movie actor gets away with murder. It is even more rare that it happened at a time that is not old Hollywood. It did happen back in the day. The actor in question is still really close to A+ list. The actor was stealing from his business partner. Our actor was not the money making machine he is now and was using a lot of drugs and couldn't pay. He's also has some other issues. He got in over his head, and when the silent business partners came looking for their share of the profits, our actor pointed the finger at other silent partners as to why there was no money to pay the silent partners. The guy got killed, and our actor quickly got out of sight and stayed out of sight for about a year. Solution: Johnny Depp, Anthony Fox, Viper Room.
You made that way too entertaining. His reads are not that entertaining.
Well, I mean, it can't be. You don't want to get
You
everybody
left
all
out
soporific.
a lot of tongue and lip smacking and
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't want to lose people when you try to impersonate Enti in his coma-like uh, broadcasting style,
That is a great description.
coma-inducing broadcasting style.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got?
Enunciate. Isn't he a lawyer? Do you talk like that in court, putting the friggin' jury to sleep and the
Mhm.
judge, Enti?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know much about him. He's got the lawyer in
But
the
there is
title.
one thing in there. There is one
That's
thing in
all I
there.
know.
There is one thing in there. I do. go along with. And I think in '93, when Depp got involved in the Viper Room and co-purchased it with these shady characters, he wasn't wealthy. You know, I
Mhm.
think he'd burned through his Jump Street money. I think he got barely seven figures for Scissorhands. Benny and June, kind of the same thing. In between, he got spittoon for Arizona Dream in between that. So I don't understand how he would be so confidently wealthy that he could even purchase a club that wouldn't even, is fitting 200 people in it, maximum occupancy, unless he's charging, like we always say, $18 for a Heineken, a single
Mhm.
Heineken, if
Yeah.
that's what it goes on in that place. And God knows what under the table, and if there's drug running, and who knows what happened.
Mhm.
So it is strange. He doesn't know where his future's going unless Tracy Jacobs promised him. He has this string of movies that, and Ed Wood, I don't think he made much on either. So, which comes up as he purchases he's filming Ed Wood as he's purchasing the Viper Room.
Mhm.
So it is curious that he would even be looking to do that at that time.
Yeah. Well, we talked about all that too in that 5 hours of Viper Room talk. So, again, go back to those 2
But
episodes.
Anti confirms it
I
in
know,
theirs.
in
Like he
part
kind of
2.
says, how is he? Yeah, he's not as rich as he is now. So what is?
Yeah.
How is this?
He wanted to be
Uh,
cool. He wanted to be cool and
no,
hang
totally,
with
totally.
the rock stars, and how else are you gonna get Flea to come, hang out with you? I don't know.
It's quite a list of
Only
the
one I can
who's
think
who
of.
of alternative music back
Mhm.
then that had gone through there. The only thing there's not a ton of those Seattle guys though.
No. It's too far south. Us Northwestern people, we know not to venture too far south.
So this I love this comment
Mm.
again from a Viper Room staff member, unnamed, writes, hi, I was a co-manager at the Viper Room with Sal Jenko. Why are we still talking about this? River Phoenix died there. Sal Jenko stole the money. Everyone that worked there lost their job. Now director Olivia Barish is making a documentary to document how great the place was. There was nothing great about it. It was nothing more than a place for the privileged and famous to behave badly and get away with it. What dealer? It was a famous rock star that supplied the drugs that killed River Phoenix. 3 hours after the kid died, there was a meeting with criminal defense lawyers and this rock star at Johnny Depp's house.
Mhm.
The fact that Fox's body was never found, the cops didn't find Rivers' dealer either. Figure that one out. Depp nor his best friend were ever investigated at all. It makes no sense, and it makes one wonder. All these years, Depp has lied, concealed, denied that he was tied to any and all means he's certainly someone to question. Why hasn't he been questioned? Why haven't cops dug into the dirt area in the Viper Room? The one everyone that works there won't go near. Fox's daughter deserves more than money. She deserves her father back in her life. If Depp knows and has kept a lid on this, he deserves the same to happen to him and his children. And his children have been fortunate enough to have had this lunatic on the fringe of insanity of society. He is a drunk, not an A-lister in my humble opinion. Just a silly pirate who dresses the part off screen. Ruined his marriage for a 22-year-old at the time, and is a self-absorbed idiot who can't seem to play any real roles on screen nor in real life. He got a start because of his looks. No finely tuned school of dramatic arts is going to solve that. None of his acting roles have had any true grit whatsoever. I hope his body disappears into an acidic unknown as well, like Fox probably was. Signed, Richard Grieco.
Oh god. Well, if this article's true, he owes him an apology.
Signed, Christian Slater.
Yeah. Okay, let's end this. So, we're way over what I wanted to do. So,
That is a crazy scathing. Right. I don't know what this guy's life must have got really effed up after he left the fight. I think he thought it was going to go on forever, and man, I think they just summarily stopped everything, and that's insane. I wonder who that is.
mhm. I don't know.
I've never
Somebody
heard such bad words about the Depp
again,
man.
somebody who needs to apologize to Johnny Depp. That's all I got. All right.
Okay.
So let's wrap this up. We are at 800. Thank you, everybody. Almost 800, like 10 away. So we will be back this weekend to do another saga. I think we're wrapping up our current saga. and we will see you this weekend. You have anything else?
No, no. I just want to say thanks again to Monique from Radio Gunk to give us the link to this. I Google him just about every other day. I have no idea how I missed it and she found it a week and change after this. So I want to thank Monique for giving us this tidbit to exclamate our Viper Room series. And the reason Sarah's so harried is because we're trying to do these quickie episodes. So
Yeah,
it's what's the
well,
goal?
it
Keep it
didn't
under an
work.
hour.
No, a half hour.
No, you said between
Ugh,
45 minutes and a half. That's
I
exactly what we're at.
I don't understand how people do 10 minutes. I wanted
I
to
don't
do a
either.
half hour and I thought that was crazy. We're at 45 minutes. I
That's
don't know
fine.
if this is going to work.
People don't like short podcasts.
I know. Okay.
I know I don't.
The next short
Give them
one is going to
some
be
kind of meat. 45 minutes is at least some meat on the bone.
yeah. The next short one next week is going to be something I cannot wait for. We've put it off far too long.
Yeah, but it's
Um
going to be in installments, though, right?
no, it has to be. We can't. It's got to be picked apart like a Christmas goose. I don't know how we would do that in one shot. We would be sitting here for 10 hours. So, okay. All right. Let's wrap it up. And thank you, everybody. Love you all. See you next time.